And something that my government is going to do is to use all of the powers of the federal government, including the emergency powers of the federal government, to accelerate the major projects that we need in order to build this economy and take on the Americans.
All right, everyone. Welcome back. Sorry for the botched little transition there. Welcome back to another episode of the Hizzy Hustle. This one is a little bit more, well, not personal topic. I'm just trying to play. Maybe I'm playing devil's advocate here. Who knows? For those of you guys that don't know, my name is Tyler Heisman. I am a licensed realtor here in the Okanagan. Ex-tradesman, ex-railroader, ex-oil field worker, ex-rig roughneck, you name it. I've been around a lot of different environments of profession and people, and the most interested that I have been in people's opinions is currently right now, because I used to never care what people had to think, but right now I am a little bit curious as to what people's mindset is towards Mark Carney and the very, very, very good chance that he's going to be the next prime minister here in March. Now, what I would encourage people to think about, and I'm just talking about, taking a little step back, thinking about just a little objectively, like, take your personal vendetta out, whatever, if you hate Pierre, blah, 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 blah. Take a look at the situation and ask yourself, what if it was on the other side of the fence, right? The Liberals right now are going through a leadership race, and there could be a potential, well, there is 100% going to be a unelected official as our prime minister, however short of a period of time it may be, however long. I don't personally care. I think it's crazy that people don't have a say. I think everyone should get to vote in this leadership race in the Liberals, and if that's the case, then I think there should just be an election. What I would like to see happen the second Mark Carney gets into power is to call an election. Now, if he wins that election, whatever. It's game on. Go for it. Your 4-year mandate. You won. You won the election. This is not what's happening. It's so crazy that they're not willing to potentially put a 4-year turnaround, or however long it could be, before if they were to lose and get back into power again. It's so crazy that they're willing to do everything possible to try to not let that happen, even though that would be the most democratic thing to do. It would suck, I'm sure, if people wanted change in the next election and it didn't happen. But nevertheless, it would be through an election. It was just like how it was 4 years ago. A lot of people were on the fence with whether or not they wanted the Liberals to stay in power. And sure, I voted Conservative in the last election. But at the end of the day, it was the mandate of the people. And so they got a 4-year mandate to move forward. Right now, we're not in that situation. It feels like we're being told what's going to happen, and I think that's the least democratic possible way to go about things. Now, I personally don't care what anyone's opinions are. I have my own opinions. I'm sure you could probably guess what I think, but I just want to urge people to kind of just take a step back and really assess what's happening, assess the position that we're in and why we're in this position. The only reason that we're in this position currently right now is because the leadership of the Liberals want the best possible outcome to stay in power at the next election. Clearly, that's the whole point of it. It's the whole purpose of being a political party. You're trying to get into power so you can push your agenda. That is what they do, understandably. Now, it's crazy that we have to deal with this all now. We have a iron fist ruling government that's down in the States that is really, really pushing their agenda, and they're pushing it outwards. They want what they're going to do, what they said they're going to do. And right now, like, even if Carney were to get in as our prime minister, how is he ever going to negotiate from a position of power when everybody else that isn't from Canada thinks that he's probably not going to make it through the next election. Like, the whole thing is that they're trying to stay in power. So when you're in that type of a situation, the best thing that you could possibly do, if you're Mark Carney, would be to call an election, because even if you lose, you might win. And if you win, you've won the backing of Canada. That is a big difference than winning the backing of the Liberals and the MPs who support you. Like, am I crazy? Am I crazy for thinking that? I personally don't think I'm that crazy. I've always been, ever since I was in high school, like I've always been politically interested. I've always had an inkling to be center and to the left more than the right. I did not agree with Harper's conservative government. That's why I voted for Trudeau. But I really don't like the way that the Liberals have gone, because the NDP were supposed to always be the left side, the farther left people, the more radical left people or whatever. And the Liberals were always supposed to be the center that kind of, conservatives were right, NDP was far left, and the Liberals hugged right into the middle. And that's why they were so attractive to the younger people, because I've always felt like I've erred on the side of logic. So when you're telling me that you're going to spend all my money on social benefits and giving it away to people that don't live here, and you're going to essentially pay people to come here illegally, which is crazy, by the way. They were giving like $200 a day to asylum seekers. It's more money than most people make in Canada. And we're going through a freaking huge crisis when it comes to homelessness, food bank usage, job losses, cost of living issues. There needs to be a reset in the government, and people need to vote for what they feel like needs to be that reset. Liberals getting a new leader, sure, fantastic. I would love to hear the opinion of somebody who thinks that there shouldn't need to be an election. We're talking about a prime minister taking power. That transition should only ever happen through a national vote from everybody. I didn't vote for the Liberals, right? And maybe some people do vote for the Liberals, but you're voting for the prime minister and who's going to be the prime minister, who's going to lead the party. There was other votes and there's other prerequisites that need to be passed in order to get to that position, to become the Liberal leader, right? I don't think that going through that process should entitle you to become the prime minister because of this situation. That's craziness. I think that's absolutely craziness. There should be a rule, there should be something that's put into play from this point onwards. And I hope the next government that's in power looks at this situation and says, we can never have this happen again. Like, leadership races shouldn't be able to happen during a prorogued government. If a leadership race happens with a sitting prime minister or the sitting party or whatever, there needs to be an immediate federal election following. I think if you did those two things, well, I mean, realistically speaking, you would think that we would never be in this situation again. But I'd like to challenge that, because I don't personally, I don't like the way that government has been using their powers. And that's why I particularly don't like an unelected official talking about how he's going to use the emergency powers that a government has. So it's a hot take. I understand. Like I said, I would love to know if I'm the crazy one, and I would love to know people's opinions on this, because I can't be the only person that is concerned or curious or, has questions and whatnot. And oh my God, if I would have known that Carney was going to be in Kelowna yesterday, I would have been there. I would have absolutely been there. I would have tried my freaking heart out to have asked that question to him straight to his face, because I personally believe, and I would love to have known his answer to that, because why is it that as somebody who's not a part of the Liberal Party or whatever, right? I think you have to sign up and donate or something, right? That you have to sign up to be a Liberal to vote in this leadership race, right? And so you're literally saying that only people who are Liberals can currently vote on who's going to become the next prime minister. How does that make any sense? It doesn't. It doesn't. And I think there's a very, very slim chance that somebody would be able to convince me otherwise. I'm just curious, right? I'm curious about people's thoughts, right? I'm curious as to why the polls think that if Carney's the leader, that the Conservatives and the Liberals are tied in the polls. That's crazy. That's so crazy. There has been such a wave of people falling into the Conservatives or into the blue that I just couldn't see it happening. Sure, they'll be getting some traction, but like who are these people? Where are these people rallying? Like, where are all the supporters? Where are all the liberal supporters? Where, you know what I mean? Like, you always see people, like, there's still like the whole F Trudeau type of mentality. You see it all over the Okanagan, right? Like on so many bumper stickers and all that type of stuff. Like, it's very well heard over here that there's a conservative push, and yet see nothing when it comes to the Liberals. So I would love for people to engage in this video. I really hope it gets some traction. I would love to hear other people's opinions. Comment, tell me what you think. Call me an idiot. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm right. I don't know. Do whatever. Just give me your take on this situation. Do you think that an unelected official should ever be able to be the prime minister without a federal election? And if so, why is that the case? And would you still have that opinion if this was Pierre and if he prorogued government in order to hold on? Like, say this was Harper in his prorogation and Pierre took over for Harper in the leadership race and became prime minister before that election. Would you have supported that? I'm just curious. I'm just playing devil's advocate. This has nothing to do with real estate. This is more of a concerned citizen video. And yeah, I want to know what people's take is on it. I know it's a hot take and I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with it. But I think a lot of people will. And I kind of want to know what that consensus is. So hopefully I can generate some interest and use this platform to encourage people to do a little bit of critical thinking, take a step back, look at things objectively, put your emotions aside, put your own feelings aside, and just, take a step back and really look. So that's my piece for today. Thanks for showing if you do, and don't forget to leave a comment, hit the like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We go live pretty much every day. I've been very, very busy this last week because of an event going on in Vernon, but for the most part, we're going to be doing this a lot, and I would love to create a environment of engagement and curiosity, questions without I want to be able to have an opinion and discuss things without people getting heated or emotional. That's pretty much it. So anyways, thanks for coming in, and let me know what you think.